Senator Hanson.
Thank you very much. My question is to the Minister Cash, representing the Minister for Infrastructure. On the 13th of November 2019, the majority of coalition senators supported a notice of motion that the Senate, and I quote, call on the federal government to take the necessary steps to ensure the construction of a Bradfield-type scheme can begin in Queensland as swiftly as possible. Speaking to this motion, the government stated, and again I quote, there is no reason for the Australian government to oppose this motion. Today, the Prime Minister announced plans to fast-track a number of infrastructure projects, yet despite the government's claimed support, there was no mention of any form of Bradfield scheme. Why has the government chosen to leave the hybrid or new Bradfield scheme, a crucial nation-building project they have expressed their support for, off the Prime Minister's list of essential projects to be fast-tracked?
The Minister representing the Minister for Infrastructure, Transport and Regional Development, Senator Cash.
Thank you, Mr President, and I thank Senator Hanson for her question and in particular for acknowledging the significant announcement that the Prime Minister made today, as I alluded to in my previous question from Senator Antic, and the bringing forward of infrastructure projects across Australia to create around 66,000 jobs. In relation to the Bradfield scheme, I can provide you with the following information. The National Water Grid Authority, which, as you have referred to, commenced operation on the 1st of October 2019, is working with leading science agencies, including the CSIRO, to determine where and how water resources can be sustainably developed. This forms part of the Australian Government's commitment to invest $100 million into bringing world-best science together to identify opportunities for enhancing water supply and reliability for regional Australia. As part of this work, the authority is considering options for developing large-scale water harvesting and transfer schemes, such as elements of the Bradfield scheme or hybrid versions of the Bradfield scheme, to capture and transport water to both grow agricultural sector and improve drought resilience. Over the decades since it was first proposed, there have been a number of assessments on the merit of the original Bradfield scheme and more recent variations. It is important that the feasibility of these schemes are now investigated using the best available contemporary science.
Senator Hanson, a supplementary question.
Thank you, Minister. There has been a feasibility study done on it by the Snowy Mountain Engineering Corp in 2018. Water security is crucial to all Australians, especially given the horrendous drought that more than 60% of Queensland continues to endure. Why can't the government simply give the people of Australia a firm commitment that the hybrid Bradfield scheme will be added to the Prime Minister's list of projects that will be fast-tracked?
Senator Cash.
Well, thank you, Mr President, and I would refer Senator Hanson to the answer I just gave to my previous question. And my understanding is the Prime Minister announced certain projects today and said there'd be further announcements to come.
Senator Hanson, a final supplementary question.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate the water schemes that have actually been put in with the dams, but there has been no real commitment to the hybrid Bradfield scheme, which will actually bring water from going out to the ocean inland. So therefore, I say the government has been very critical of Queensland's Labor's failure to give a clear date on border openings. Is it safe to say that because you won't commit to your date to start this project, that the Liberal National Party have no plans to build the Bradfield scheme?
Senator Cash.
Thank you, Mr President, and Senator Hanson, I will have to reject the premise of your question. And as I said in my answer to your primary question, over the decade since it was first proposed, there have been a number of assessments on the merits of the original Bradfield scheme and more recent variations. It is important that the feasibility of these schemes are now investigated using the best available contemporary science.